वाहिगुरु राग आसा महला चौथा सोपुरख एक ओंकार सतगुर प्रसाद सोपुरख निरंजन हर पुरख निरंजन हर अगमा अगम अपारा सब त्याग है तुझ जी हर सचे सिरजनहारा सब जी तुम्हारे जी तुम जिया का दातारा हर त्याग हो संतो जी सब दुख विसारणहारा हर आपे ठाकुर हर आपे सेवक जी क्या नानक जंत विचारा तू घट घट अंतर सर्व निरंतर जी हर एक पुरख समाना एक दाते एक भिखारी जी सब तेरे छोड़ बनाना तू आपे दाता आपे भुगता जी हो तुद बिन अवर न जाना तू पार ब्रह्म बेअंत जी तेरे क्या गुण आख बखाना जो सेव है तुद जी जन नानक तिन कुर्बाना हर त्याग है तुद जी से चंद जुग में सुखवासी से मुक्त पाए जन हर त्याग जी तिन टूटी जम की फांसी जिन निर्भव जिन हर निर्भव त्याया जी तिनका पो सब वासी जिनसे व्या मेरा हर जीते हर रूप समासी से तन जन हर त्याया जी जन नानक तिन बल जासी तेरी भगत पंडार जी परे बेअंता तेरे भगत सलाहन तुझ जी हर अनेक अनंता तेरी अनेक ग्रह हर पूजा जी तप जपह बेअंता तेरे अनेक पढ़े को समर शास्त्र जी कर क्रिया खट कर्म ग्रंथा से भगत भले जन नानक जी जो पावे मेरे हर भगवंता तू आदि पुरख अपरण पर करता जी जेवर अहन कोई तू जुग जुग एको सदा तू एको जी तू नह जल करता सोई तुद आपे पावे सोई वर्तै जी तू आपे करे सोई तुद आपे सृष्ट सब उपाय जी तुद आपे सिरज सब होई जन नानक गुण गावे करते के जी जो सब सका जानो वाहिगुरु।
Feel free to join me in a meditation. Just close your eyes. Breathe like you want something greater than you've always known. It's real simple. That would be the intention. Just to breathe and imbue your breathing with the intention of experiencing something greater than you've ever known. That's it. Put your hand over your heart if you have to. Tap it. Wake it up. Exist here, not here. Let the current of the music take you somewhere, further into yourself. Touch your real self, your soul. You can do it. You're doing it already because you are it. Notice the lyrics. You may not understand them in the way of your dialect or your language, but it is part of the universal language. Even though you don't know what's being said, you know what's being said. It feels very sacred, does it not? And if you allow yourself to ride that drone, that ongoing mantra, that current, it'll take you further into yourself, and further into yourself, and further into yourself, and further into yourself, depending upon how much you imbue your breath with what I said. I just want to experience something greater than I've always known. Further into yourself, further into yourself. The next thing you know, you're experiencing the self, the real self, that soft, powerful place. Real current, real power. Hello, everyone. I'm back to the room now. Back to the world. First on the list always is to acknowledge everyone who is here. Sarah. Angela Cretini is the one. I take no credit or responsibility or blame for this broadcast. Angela Cretini, old friend. She's probably 50-something, 5, 6, 7, maybe 1,000. But old friend, back in the day kind of friend. She's going to get all the blame and the responsibility for this broadcast. Titled, Butthurt. I'm going to go tell my mom on you. I'll explain a little more about that in a moment. Dan Hook was my bro. Lewis, Kayleen, Cindy, Ralph. Hey, Linda. Tammy. Corey. Hello, Corey. Corey, I just saw that you posted something about your mother and father's anniversary. I hope I'm correct. Cool on that. John, my bro. Dorothy, Kenny, Kenneth, Dana, Carl, Elwood Cowalt, Angie, Tony Meharry, my bro. Jane, Sue, Sella, Anya Ann Light. Hey, girl, what you doing? It's good to see you, dear. Maria, Jaden. Jaden, this is called, I don't know what it's called. It's a foreign language. I will send it to you. Hello, Michael. Hello, Reggie, bro. This is what she's saying in English. Now, she shifted.
Those who serve, oh, those who serve my Lord are one with honey.
Robert, Tammy, Amy, Gaynell.
Blessed, oh, blessed are they.
Listen to the lyrics.
Serving Nanak is a sacrifice to them. Devotion to you, oh, devotion to you is a treasure trove that ever overflows. Your lovers, oh, your lovers praise you, my beloved, forever and ever.
Wow. The lyrics just said, my beloved. Only those that love you praise you. Oh, it's amazing. Hello, Chloe. Hello, Mary Lou. All right, y'all. So let me wind this down, this music a little bit. There we go. So tonight's broadcast came by way of Angela Cretini. Butthurt. She said, Keith, please make a video about people who are easily offended. First thing that came to mind was butthurt. Mom, I'm gonna go tell mom on you. Alex Perez. So this broadcast, this presentation is not about offending you. Hello, Tammy. It's not about offending you. And if you are offended, hear me from a clear, heartfelt space. If you are offended by this presentation, then obviously this presentation is for you. You are the definition of butthurt. Keith, it sounds like you're being demeaning and making fun. I am absolutely not being demeaning. I'm about lifting up, but I am making fun. I am making fun of something that is so ridiculous, so not necessary, and it goes absolutely nowhere. Anya says, I loved how you just unbuttoned your pants during this live broadcast. Yes, let's all be real. Heck, I'm 54 years old. I eat what I want. That's my sanctuary. That's my temple. Hell, I'm just being me. I'm not going to put on a monkey suit with a tie. I'm just getting comfortable. Got my shoes off. Whatever. So being butthurt, I get it. It's not about to offend anybody. And if you are offended, then you are the definition of why this presentation is taking place. Stop it. Or you can choose to stop it. But if you don't want to choose it, then keep doing it. And you will find yourself consistently in a butthurt scenario. I don't know about you, but I brought my cream, right? Triple antibiotic cream, because I want to triple ensure that I'm not going to get butthurt. So what is butthurt? I knew there was going to be lots of moments of just outbursts of guffawing. So let me give you a definition of butthurt. It's not about making fun of you. It's about making fun with you. Butthurt, let's call it butthurt syndrome. Butthurt syndrome. It's ridiculous. From our point of view, if you're one that understands the idea that being butthurt is nonsensical, it's not so funny for those who need butthurt cream. I don't mean that flippant. I mean that seriously. So what this presentation is about, again, as I said, if this time with me and my time with you makes you feel butthurt, very well it's because you're living in ignorance. Not always. Ignorance does not mean I'm slamming you or demeaning you. The word ignorance in the dictionary serves a purpose. It describes or models a particular behavior. It doesn't mean anything more than that. And if you take it to mean anything more than that, then you are the definition of this presentation, which is butthurt. Understand, I love you. This is not about calling you out or demeaning you or defaming you. It ain't about that. I have very few notes, only about the few things I'm going to read for the next 5 minutes at most. I have no idea where this presentation is going, because I connected to spirit and my intentions to connect to my soul earlier when we did the meditation. For whatever reasons, though I want to intervene and step in and say, I don't want to do this, that is going to likely be somewhat often about politics or parlor tricks. It is not my intention to have any direction except to follow Spirit. So I'm always about definitions. Everyone that knows me knows I'm always about definitions, because you cannot escape a definition. We collectively agree this is our resource for language as to why the definition exists, and whenever we don't understand something, via that ignorance I just talked about, we refer to Webster's dictionary, and there it sits for everyone to glean and go, ah, this is what it means. Before I read you the definition of butthurt, there was a graphic image in the promotional banner. It said, it's a yellow box, and it was a parody version of Preparation H. And it's called, I think it's called Preparation V. And it's for, and it says internet version, Preparation H for butthurt. Reduces the pain and embarrassment. Again, I am not making light of this in a demeaning way. Reduces the pain, this butthurt cream, of pain and embarrassment. Prompt relief when you've made an ass of yourself. Shrinks painful truths down to size. Protects your delicate ego. Has your back to your old fallacy flinging self in no time. That's what the box says as a cute meme for butthurt. The actual definition of butthurt: overly or unjustifiably offended or resentful. The definition is everything. So it's not about Keith hammering on you. Blame it on Webster and blame it on Angela Cretini for bringing me in this situation to talk about butthurt. Definition: butthurt, Webster's. Overly or unjustifiably, that is the power word. Unjustifiably offended or resentful. An excessive or an unjustifiable feeling of personal offense or resentment. I'm taking things personally. Well, if you take it personally, it doesn't apply to John or Jill Doe. You're the one that's taking it that way as to why it's unjustifiable, as to why the ignorance comes into play, because you are making it mean something that it doesn't mean, and therefore in your meaning, it becomes a magical, beautiful, huge butthurt until you stop getting butthurt. And then that will become even greater in the form of beautiful. Under the definition of butthurt, there is a sub-definition. You know, hello Lillian, hello Michael Morales. I see everybody. Hey guys, take this correctly. I see everybody in Jim Sadat. What's up, Jimbo? Everybody in here is saying, I'm definitely not butthurt. No, not me. I'm not butthurt. Why is everybody saying that? Is on some level you feeling butthurt? Hey, I'm just asking an honest question. The sub-definition of butthurt is petty. And I don't mean Tom, Last Dance with Mary Jane. The sub-definition of butthurt, but yet its own definition, is petty. Comparative adjective, comparative adjective. Of little importance, trivial. In other words, it means nothing to no one else except me. And I'm offended by it. So I'm in my offense of it, I'm going to create a defensive posture. And now in my defensive posture, I'm going to take offense. And I'm going to be on the offensive because I'm butthurt. Here are all the synonyms for butthurt and petty. Remember I told you I had no idea how this was going to lean into politics? And that I really didn't want to go there? It's starting already. I'm channeling already. Under petty, it says of little importance, trivial. the petty divisions of party politics. The synonyms: trivial, trifling, minor, small, unimportant, insignificant, inconsequential, inconsiderable, negligible, paltry, footling, pettifogging. It means nothing except what you make it to mean. Going to continue with the reading. I have a few more things, and then I'm going to get into the free channeling session of this presentation. I always ask Spirit when we first started the broadcast, before I ever spoke a word, you saw me fall into meditation. I asked God to fill my being, fill my heart, fill my mind, fill my mouth, exist on my tongue, speak as you would, help me to be articulate, clear, and most powerful in my love that I offer to everyone here or in the future. And therefore, because I declared it, it is. Just as the same as those who declare, I'm going to be petty, I'm going to be butthurt. Couple of definitions which is synonymous with butthurt. Politically correct and or incorrect. Give me a moment. Politically correct. Movement in America founded on well-meaning intentions to promote equality in language and representation of diverse groups. However, this has now been oversimplified and misused by, again, I did not want to go into this direction, misused by politicians in their attempts to win the favor of as many minority and interest groups as possible. The struggle to be politically correct has made common people easily irritable and oversensitive to the words of others and their own words. It has created a society that walks on eggshells and that has difficulty being personal with each other because coworkers and potential friends can't joke around for fear of offending the other. That was a burst of light. That is also the definition of butthurt. Now let's look at the definition of politically incorrect. Equally as powerful. Not avoiding language or behavior that could offend a particular group of people. Of or relating to the government. A government or the conduct of government, of, relating to, or concerned with the making as distinguished from the administration of governmental policy, of relating to, involving, or involved in politics, and especially party politics. Well, Keith, what does that have to do with being butthurt? Hello, Judy. Hello, Lisa. It has everything to do with it. I'm not going to convince you. I'm just going to ask a simple question. It's rhetorical. You don't have to answer. And it's definitely not out of judgment nor separation from our brothers and sisters of humanity. I'm asking a very simple question. How many people that you know that are hard in politics, who live their life by politics? Simple, honest question. Have you noticed, or have you not, how easy it is for them to become butthurt? There are even those who are not in the arena of politics that get butthurt. But I'm just creating an idea so we can see what butthurt really looks like. And again, this is not about judgment. It's about the mindset or the lack of heart set that creates butthurt. And as I've always said, get out of the fight. The fight with the world, the fight with racism, butthurt. The fight with terrorism, butthurt. The fight with politics, butthurt. These are all attributes that lead to butthurt. Tammy says, don't take everything so seriously. No one gets out of here alive. Thank you, Jim Morrison of The Doors. Just live and have a good time doing it. Absolutely. I'm going to give you a Facebook love right now, dear. Butthurt, butthurt, butthurt. People are offended because you posted something that is out of context or out of their religion's parameters. You said something about a political view that did not go along. How about this? You said something about a global view that is all-inclusive, that includes every race, every sex, every trisexual, every bisexual, every asexual, every sexual, every skin color, every tone, every country. And in your affirming your humanity, because someone is so rigidly locked in their political agenda, terrorist disposition, of what they think is happening, this, that, or religious agenda, what they think is true. Again, as I said at the beginning of this broadcast, lots of butthurt has been birthed out of ignorance. Let me continue reading a few more quotes. From Bhagavan Sri Sanjay Sai Baba. He's like 28 years old. He's an incarnation of God who lives in India. The truth does not need anyone's permission to exist. And whether you know this or not, and if you trust me as your brother, as a teacher, just take this in. And he is one of many who are here now. An incarnation, full-blown avatar. Divine incarnation lives in India. His name is Bhagavan Sri Sanjay Sai Baba. Said this yesterday. All religions advocate for unity. As I mentioned, when someone is butthurt about your post or your sharing your heart and your position about bringing the world together, and whatever fundamental group says, this is not what this scriptural book says, this is what this God-man says. All religions advocate for unity for the betterment of the society. The global enrichment has a direct link with the progress of societies. No religion teaches to live aloof, breaking the relationship. Moreover, religion doesn't teach to hate the people of contact and to boycott them from the society. Another God-realized man from India says this right here. His name is Sadhguru. He has awareness in 16 dimensions. Hello, JR. Hello, Angela. We, as of now, live in one dimension presently. When we go to sleep at night, there's a second dimension that happens. And when you daydream, when you're in this body, you are actually living in two dimensions. One, I am in this body and I'm present with the body. And the fact that I'm daydreaming, letting my mind wander, I'm in a second dimension. The experience of me being in this meat suit and allowing my experience to wander somewhere else, that's two dimensions. When you sleep at night, that is one dimension. But when you bring in such a powerful hyper-awareness that goes, wow, I'm present in this experience. And we've all had this happen. I'm not just dreaming to where I wake up tomorrow morning and I remember the movie that I watched. I'm here. And in my I am here-ness, I know that I have a body laying on the bed. You're living in 2 dimensions. Sadhguru, the earthly saint I just told you about, lives in 16 dimensions simultaneously all the time, in every moment. He does not sleep. How can an awakened, illumined individual sleep? They're very contradictory. It's an oxymoron. This is what he says. It does pertain to Butthurt. Sadhguru, is your thought conscious? Is your thought conscious, or is it just an outcome of a million things that have already gotten into you? When your thought process is unconscious, most of the time, it's like mental diarrhea, butthurt. There is no control over it. It simply rambles because there is old stuff inside. This is just like the more bad food you have in your stomach, the more your diarrhea goes on. When you have mental diarrhea, butthurt, you cannot call it a thought. Someone else on social media today posted, if another can easily anger you, it's because you are off balance yourself. And this is what the final reading segment I'm going to be. Let me read that one again because I want to show you how they dovetail in parallel. A friend of mine posted, if another can easily anger you, it's because you are off balance yourself. From another God-realized man on earth today, his name is Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. He says, nothing in the world can bother you as much as your own mind. I tell you, in fact, others seem to be bothering you, but it is not others. It is your own mind. Butthurt. Are you or someone you know living in a space of butthurt? Gently, hello, Mike Ralph. If there's someone that you know that lives in a constant experience of being butthurt, maybe you can lovingly put this on their wall, not as if you were trying to teach them something and say, stop being butthurt. Maybe just say something, I just saw this pretty cool video last night. I just thought you might be interested. And you leave it there. And if they watch 10 minutes and get a few nuggets from it, then so be it. Just simply so be it. Maybe that's all they need is one seed. Just simply one seed that will help them to get out of being butthurt. We see it all the time. I didn't want to go there. I still don't. But I must. We all woke up yesterday to the news that the powers that be are bombing Syria. Please, dear Lord, don't make me talk about this. It has nothing to do with the United States and Britain and France being butthurt because as countries we were offended. Don't buy into the model. No. You can choose not to buy into the media and the spin of what is happening to make you believe what is happening. That's your choice. I am not here to change your view. All I want you to do, if I had a wish, was to open up to other possibilities, which will eventually get us all, and I'm taking responsibility for myself because I am not above you, from being butthurt. Because in our butthurtness, it has not a fucking thing to do with what's happening in Syria. To those people who live on the ground, as I said in the definition of butthurt earlier, it means being petty, trivial. Nonsensical. These people on the ground in Syria right now have no fucking concern about your butthurt. None. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's not about the oil. Excuse me. It's not about being offended as 3 countries or whatever the world's being offended and butthurt. They are distracting you. They're distracting us. And they're putting us against each other so we can become butthurt. And the machine is so intelligent. All it has to do is put us against each other through the vehicle of being butthurt. And then the machine steps back. What is the greatest possible way an alien invasion can happen? Not they come here and land on the ground or have a sky war. They give us the tools and the information that we destroy ourselves. And we do that by being butthurt. John Doe is black. Jim Doe is white. Jane Doe is red. It's just stupid. And it's control. And they've impregnated us with control for so long, we have taken on the habit and we've become quite proficient at it. We're becoming just like our governmental parents. Do you know what they call a family of baboons? They call them a Congress. And as I've always talked about being monkey-minded, the Congress, the family of baboons, our Congress, has spoon-fed us and shoved it down our throat so much we've become monkey-minded. And we carry out their silent step-back task is to go at each other. And we become butthurt and politically correct. If you are offended by anything I said or say in the future of this presentation, because I love you, ask yourself, are you loving yourself by what I'm reflecting to you? If you're a Christian and someone being Buddhist posts something and you butthurt, it's your issue and not the Buddhist. And if you're a Muslim and you're concerned and butthurt about what a Christian has posted, it's your issue and not the Christian. And if the Hindi is butthurt about what the Christian and the Muslim posted, then it's their issue and not the other two. But we're in such a tailspin that we buy into the lies, the deceit, the lower vibration of what they have told us and we have bought into is reality. That is not reality whatsoever if you are butthurt. Jesus lives here. Buddha lives here. Krishna lives here. Muhammad lives here. Allah lives here. If you go to a foreign country and you say the word rabbit, they don't understand what the word rabbit means, and they need a translator, and you say the word rabbit to the translator says it to the person in that country saying, I understand. It's the same thing with a different label, a different vibration. It does not mean that Jesus, Buddha, Allah, Krishna is indifferent from each other. It's foolish and it's nonsense and it's ignorance. Stop it. You are being butthurt. You can bet your ass Christians in this country, Buddhists in China, Taiwan, Hindus in India, Muslims in the Far East, and just like those people, those God-blessed people who are living in Syria and having to run and dodge fucking bombs. They all want family lives. They all want to raise their children. And their children raise their children to where they become grandparents and live joyful, peaceful, happily, prosperous, beautiful lives. And right now, their world, their family, everything that they think is beautiful is being ripped apart. God damn it, it sucks. We are all butthurt. We all take offense. And in our taking offense, we act upon a defensive posture. And yet in our being in the mode of defense, we become defensive. And that is sort of an offense in and of itself. And I know that you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, Keith, so what do we do? I don't have the answers. All I can do is offer you my heart. People say, Keith, if you just turn your heart or a blind eye away from what's happening in these countries, that you're just a part of the evil as well because you're doing nothing. Oh, no, 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 no. I have more compassion than than many people, and I'm mustering every amount of it that I can possibly find within myself. There is a difference between living in compassion and feeling sorry. Huge difference. One has an amazing effect, and the other plugs into the problem. I have empathy, or I have compassion. Compassion means it does not spark an emotional charge inside of me. Because in that emotional charge, I plug into the problem. I'm not able to contribute to the solution because the problem is affecting me versus me affecting the problem. But when I become compassionate, it doesn't mean that it will not bring a tear to your eye and kick you in your heart, kick you in your spiritual solar plexus, kick you in your cosmic groin. It doesn't mean any of that. It means I don't like what's happening, and I don't have to like it. But yet I'm going to turn to the plant and away from the weed and begin to water the plant to say, this is my focus. Simply to say that, why is it happening in Syria? Why? Just simply ask the question within yourself, emphatically, sincerely, passionately. God, why? Why is it happening? And an alchemy begins to happen. Something begins to change from, God damn it, why is this happening? Being so frustrated and mad. Because that is a large part of what I am describing here. In some way, that is being butthurt. I understand the condition of the world, but being mad about it is the ultimate position of butthurt. Is it not? I'm going to blame the United States government and the France and Britain and them son of a bitches are doing all this. That's being butthurt. You may say, well, yeah, Keith, it's for a good cause. It is being butthurt, and that is the definition of butthurt. So what we do to change it is to ask the question, supplicate to our divine parent, why is this happening? And then we get an answer. You don't have to understand why it's happening. Just open up the gate of compassion, and that lists the entire human experience, the entire human dynamic. Because everyone, as a singular and or a collective country, a collective continent, or a collective world, is going through a karmic purge. We have no idea that what is taking place. I'm channeling, so I didn't want to do this about politics. But maybe it's purposeful. Obviously it is. Is it possible And I'm telling you, from my experience in many years of doing what I do, not only it's possible, the truth is stranger than fiction. Everyone has a soul. That being said, the higher truth is there is only one soul that everyone is a part of. And if the soul is God, then what we see as happening that we would deem terrible because we're butthurt may not be so terrible. Is it possible what happens in any war, be it the aggressors or those being attacked, that the soul is carrying and playing itself out in an experience? You can bet that those that are being attacked and those that are being on the offense are the same dance, leader and follower, follower and leader, playing itself out to come into a state of what we call human balance. Doesn't mean our hearts still do not hurt. It just means that those attackers live, as I said earlier in this broadcast, conscious or unconscious, two different dimensions simultaneously. The attackers and those being offended. Is it possible those being attacked on some other level, in some other past time, were those who were doing the attacking? And that is what is unfolding before our eyes. Be blessed that you are not a part of it, because you can bet that somewhere in your past and or possibly in your future, that we will all experience what we have brought forth, from the most beautiful to the most blasphemous. We're all a part of it. Hello, Sherry. Hello, Heather. Elaine. Whatever happens to someone or to some people, it's not without a divine purpose. And divine law is justice. And it's also grace. And when you see it as grace, those being attacked, maybe they're being attacked because somehow, strangely, beyond levels we can't even begin to comprehend, that divine grace is being applied. That after all the dust and smoke and rubbish and rubble settles, there's time for a new beginning. Time for rebuilding. It brings out the compassion in everyone around the world, does it not? When you heard about what is happening in Syria, did your heart not expand to go, oh my God, I can't believe this is fucking happening again? Guess what? Oh my God, this is fucking happening again. What are we going to do about it? Well, Keith, if what you said is true, that it's everyone's karma who goes through whatever, that it's purposeful. But it is our purpose as brothers and sisters or light workers to take the responsibility for those who cannot take the responsibility for themselves. Hence the term light workers. We are warriors of the divine light. We are here to shed light on dark situations so the entire world, so the entirety of humanity can ascend to the next level, so we become the active participants in the embodiments and the life-fulfilling prophecy of heaven on earth. That is why we are here. And in our forgiveness, in our forgiving of other people, American government, British government, government of France, all those who are doing the bombing, when we begin to forgive them, it lets them off the hook via the forgiveness. And they ascend to another level on Jacob's ladder. A higher level of a spiritual experience to where they too will no longer do such offensive, hurtful things. Absolutely, Maria, it's sad. Hello, Cheryl. It's definitely sad, but it's sad for a reason. It's to get our attention. It's to crack open our sacred chest. Our sacred chest, as in the Ark of the Covenant. To let it open, to let the God fire out, to let the love out, so that their death will not be in vain. So, Angela Cretini, early in this brought yesterday, day before, a couple days ago, asked me to talk about butthurt. I had no idea this was going to go here. I created the small definitions and painted a picture of small butthurt. People just being pissed off for no reason. Trivial reasons at that. Petty reasons at that. And then later I brought in the greater picture of humanity. Syria. Boy, it sure takes away our experience of what we think butthurt is, right? So maybe my hope, my love, my gesture. Hello, Ron Schaefer. Oh, everyone who's here. Ron Schaefer just entered the room. He is going to be my guest on Center of Light Radio tomorrow night. Wow, 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 wow. Listen to what just happened. Y'all check out what just happened. Ron, thank you for coming in when you did. Everyone in the room will attest to what just happened, Ron. I just got finished talking about butthurt on a small level. People just being upset about trivial, petty things. And I knew somehow this was going into the arena of politics, which I didn't. But like you, Ron, when we go into channel mode, the I am says, this is what you will talk about, and you have no control over it. I began to talk about Syria and what is happening. And that we don't like it, we understand because we're compassionate human beings. And we want to blame the government of America, France, and Britain. But still, on a cosmic expanded awareness level, that is still somewhat being butthurt to a greater degree. And I just finished my period of my paragraph by saying, when we forgive the governments who are doing these atrocities, we help them to lift to another level of divine experience, to where they understand that being offensive is not the way. It's about forgiveness. And you walked into the room, which is Ron is going to be my guest on Center of Light Radio tomorrow, and the subject is about forgiveness. Absolute forgiveness in every sense of the word. Hello, Steve Fish, my bro. Forgiveness. So when we forgive all those people doing those bad things. But Keith, I don't like what you're saying, but I need to be mad at them. Don't be butthurt. Pull out your ointment. Stop being butthurt. It goes nowhere except further into being butthurt, to where you need even more salve on your finger. Love the Syrian situation. Keith, that sounds so strange to me that you're asking me to love war. I am not asking you to love war. I am asking you to interject everything about you that is love and forgiving into the war scenario. Help become a beacon of light. You cannot control what is happening in Syria. Yes, it pains my heart when little children get sick and die. And families are blown apart, literally. And you ask Creator, whatever name you give Creator, because I don't give my Creator a name. I am seeking that which is beyond labels. If you need a label, it's perfectly okay. If it helps you connect, then even more beautiful. Dear Creator, what can I do to ease the tension that's in the world everywhere, even in your own city? There are hungry people on the streets. There are people dying by knives and gunfights all the time. And you can bet your sweet ass that someone who lost their child last night dealing drugs in Memphis or wherever it is you may be has no less painful result than those people who are being bombed in Syria. None whatsoever. We need to get out of being butthurt. Think about butthurt. You can also use the word chapped. That person has chapped my ass. Trust me when I offer you that if you with someone on your Facebook feed or social media feed or even in your social life that is constantly in butthurt mode, if you back away from that experience, has nothing to do with it, you walking away from it and ignoring it. It's because you're making a conscious choice to not be in that. And guess what happens? You may think, well, Keith, out of sight, out of mind. No. It does not work that way. In fact, actually it does. If it's out of my sight, it's out of my mind. Because now I am out of my mind. I'm able to drop and ascend to my heart. And living in my heart gives me the most power that enables each and every person to do the most good. Butthurt. It is likely those who live their lives fully in politics are butthurt. It's likely those who live their lives fully in politics / terrorism are butthurt. It's likely those who live in politics, terrorism, religion, or butthurt. It's about unity. You and your deity, you and Jesus, unified. It's not about being butthurt, because Jesus is all about some love and forgiveness. It's about being unified with your deity, Buddha. It's all about living in compassion, because Buddha was the deity of compassion. There's no butthurt. It's just about compassion. It's not about petty, trivial things. If this broadcast offends you, trust me when I tell you I love you. And I'm coming from the clear space because I love you. Don't allow this broadcast to make you your ass chapped or butthurt. See it for what it is. Experience it for what it is. Take it in for what it is. Get out of those lower levels of being offended. I'm offended by that. It's because you are choosing to be offended. And simply put, when you choose not to be offended, you're no longer offended. I'm no longer interested in eating. This food does not delight my palate. I'd rather eat that. As long as you keep biting food that does not delight your palate, you're constantly going to be squeamish. It's not rocket science. Anybody have anything you would like to bring forth, question or comment? I'd love to hear from you in this moment. So again, tomorrow night, my guest, Mr. Ron Schaefer, he's going to come with a very, very powerful message about forgiveness. Honestly, Ron, take your kudos, bro. I have never heard anyone, I've heard the same words, but I never heard anyone deliver a message on forgiveness like my guest tomorrow night on Center of Light Radio. Ron, I mean that, bro. Hello, Nathan. Butthurt. I'm going to go tell my mom on you. It's almost a tattling, childish disposition. And if me saying that offends you, damn it, step out of the quagmire. Put your big boy and big girl pants on. Take a deep breath. Stand in your power and help change and unify the world instead of being petty and or trivial and sitting back and going, I'm butthurt. God dang it. It's not helping. Step into the arena of positivity. Step into the arena of your power. Step into your soul. And when you do, you will see that being butthurt is simply just an erroneous idea that we all carry, including myself. We all carry the, I may be this and you may be that, and somehow we go, I'm a little bit better. I'm noble. I'm going to have a little more nobility about myself today than I did yesterday. That's amazing. And we need to continue to move out of these lower levels of being butthurt. That's it, man. So thank you everyone for being here. Hello, Renee. Lisa Art says, when you forgive and not get offended, you are free. Lisa, dear Lord, that is actually the ticket. When we forgive so much so, there is nothing left inside to forgive, including forgiving ourselves. You are dwelling in the kingdom. We are dwelling in the essence of soul. Those Tibetan Buddhist monks, you know what they're doing in those Himalayan caves? Days upon days upon years, hours upon hours. You know what they are doing to become enlightened? They're going within themselves so deep that they forgive every aspect of themselves and every aspect of everyone that has wronged them, and every aspect of every wrong thing that was ever done into the world, being from history to present day, or to what they can foresee possibly happening. They forgive themselves, or bring themselves to the level of forgiveness that God is. So if God is ultimate forgiveness, they bring themselves to a space of forgiveness that is God, and they become divinely illumined. That is how we get out of ultimate butthurt. Yanava, it is complete. If you know someone that gets butthurt often, hello Anna. If you know someone that gets butthurt often, we're not trying to fix them, because in their butthurtness, they're not broken. It's the wrong approach. Wrong meaning it doesn't go anywhere, it does not serve anyone. If you know someone who is butthurt often, maybe you could share a couple of words. Maybe you could put this video on their wall, so it takes you off the hook, and they won't be offended at you. They might be upset with me. I'm okay with that. Maybe you could just say, hey guys, just check out this video feed last night. I thought it was pretty cool. You planted a seed. They may watch this presentation for 15 minutes only to turn it off because they've been butthurt. Nonetheless, you have planted a seed. Seeds create sprouts. Sprouts create saplings. Saplings create trees. Trees create growth and forest. Let's plant the seed of heaven on earth for all people. And we do that, in closing, by getting out of being butthurt. Politically butthurt. Terrorism butthurt. Racism butthurt. Religiously butthurt. It goes nowhere except further into the pain, which is probably the biggest pain in your ass. I love you. Live in the light. Be blessed. I love you.